Well, everyone, welcome to another matchup we have here in Reddit League Season 4, Week 1 in Japan. My name is Atomo, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-caster, Calamity. Calamity, genki desu ka?
Genki desu. Hi.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, we're doing great in Japan. Love that it's the first map of the season, and we have a great Division 1 matchup for you. The newcomer, Blinky, taking on the runner-up from last season, BOKSA. Blinky is new to the Reddit League this season, Calamity, but he is by no means a weak opponent for BOKSA.
Yeah, definitely. Finished first by quite some distance in the preseason. I think he 25K'd the first three maps of that before he started losing some points. And yeah, he's kind of touted as like the new big thing, in quotation marks. Has been likened to Granis and people like that. And that's definitely not an easy opponent for BOKSA. But yeah, BOKSA himself is definitely not bad either. So this could be a very interesting one, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see both of them in the playoffs.
Okay, well, yeah, definitely. If he is the next hot thing, and no better way to prove it than taking out BOKSA in week 1. Our map exactly is the 50,000 plus location map by Ushtasht. It over 50,000 locations, played just over 7,500 times, an average score of just under 18,000. It's a pretty standard map for Japan, getting rid of those photospheres, Calamity.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about Japan a lot in the past and in several different competitions as well. We've had it in Formula G a few times. Yeah, it's not the most standard map, but it's not too difficult. You've got a lot of things you can learn, and if it doesn't put you in the middle of nowhere, then you should generally be able to find out your rough area in 3 minutes. And then it just comes down to pinpointing, which can be quite tough in Japan, especially because you can't just end up in the middle of some city in some suburb where there's like 17 turns before you can even get to a place where you know where you are exactly, because there's no street names anywhere.
Yep. Yeah, the joy of Japan, not naming every single street. Any predictions here? Who might come out on top in Japan?
I think it'll really depend on the locations and maybe on a bit of luck as well, because on a standard seed, I think both of those guys are capable of getting a 25K. So we'll just see how standard the seed is.
Yeah, we'll see. We might even get a draw here, which would be the first one of the season that we've seen. So yeah, let's just jump right in to their first round here as we take a look. There we go. And it is Hokkaido.
Yep.
Those snow arrows giving it away. There we go. The one, so 150 and 505. Bit blurry on Blinky's screen there. Yes,
Yep.
it is the 150. And they're both looking at that same sign.
Kuroshi
Benebetsu.
Onsen. Do you think there's an onsen there, or is it just named that way?
Well, there is probably an onsen there, but that doesn't help you because there's onsen everywhere.
True.
So,
Just curious.
yeah. I think the Kenebetsu might be a better clue if you know where that town might be. I'm not sure how big that would even be, but Nakashibetsu might be a little bit better because it has central on it, which means it might be a large enough town to have
Yeah, there it
a
is.
downtown, but nonetheless, they have found it. Blinky's got it at least. Fox is not too far behind, or at least he was until he moved past it. But yeah, we've only got 3 minutes in this Division 1 seat, so they have to be fast as well.
There it is.
Big curve in the road for Blinky, checking that directionality. Fox is only a few seconds behind him.
Looking for the 505, which he doesn't quite see at this zoom level.
Under a minute and a half to go still, half their time. And it will be a 5K for Blinky there. No problem getting that corner. Still a whole minute and 10 seconds left for BOKSA though, but he's pretty close to the right area.
Yep, he's found the 505 finally, and now it's just about working his way back to the start. And he didn't travel all that far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been looking at the same signs that Blinky has. Not quite as fast on this round, at least.
A boxer told me at the start of, well, a few weeks ago, I think it was more regarding Formula G, that he tried to start remembering where exactly he had started, so he wouldn't necessarily have to go back to the start once he's in game and at a good intersection. But it seems like in this case, it hasn't worked out too well for him. He had to go back to the start.
And
And
realizes he is in a big curve and gets it right there.
yep.
Yeah, there we go. And he's even a few meters closer than Blinky, but a 5K for both of them in round one, though. But not too difficult. Easy clues for Hokkaido, plus a good road intersection name with some cities and a nice big curve to help pinpoint, actually.
Yeah,
so not too bad from both of them.
Lots of signs with several, not exactly big cities on them, but Hokkaido isn't exactly the biggest landmass either. So you can just look for the cities, and eventually you'll find one of them.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Well, let's move on to round two and see if they can keep this perfect game going. And, ooh, another tricky rural one. There's a train crossing not too far away, so that might actually help the pinpointing a bit.
That's
Other than that, very long, straight road.
Always nice to have a train crossing, and Blinky's found out we're near Akita.
Akita Expressway, not too far. And there's one of those famous blue signs. The 13 is to their north.
I wonder where Blinky's going now. Maybe he's seen a city that he recognizes, but isn't quite sure about that.
He recognizes, yeah. But Daisen is not exactly an uncommon name. Just kind of big mountain, basically. So
yeah, there it is.
Sticking near Akita is probably the better bet. Finding that 13. Like Box has seen that same sign, but not quite sure where Akita is as much as Blinky, but he does find it nonetheless. Just a minute gone now. Blinky really honing in, trying to figure out where he might be, and that's not the right train track, but he's getting close.
You think it's not?
I thought the blue line was a Shinkansen line, and that didn't look like a Shinkansen track, but it's Akita, so maybe it is. I can't really read what's on the train line, but there's actually two of them on there on the map now that he zooms in close enough, so maybe it is the right one.
Yeah, there's the O main line and the Akita Shinkansen. That's what it says on the two train tracks.
Okay, yeah, the Akita Shinkansen line I would expect to be a little bit more developed, so to speak, because it is a high-speed train and it can't always handle the same tracks. So
it is also.
But I guess there are
Japan,
two parallel lines. But yeah, I guess that's true. It is Akita Shinkansen, not the Tokaido line.
Yeah.
So. In most of Japan, if you see a raised train track in the middle of nowhere, it's probably the Shinkansen line, and they are very easy to spot on the map because, as you can see here, they have a special color, the blue, and they can really help you figure out where you are. But in this case, they seem to look just like a regular old JR line.
Boxer's moved himself from the right place 2 roads further south.
He's still got 30 seconds to correct him. And he did get a 5K for Blinky there while we were chatting away watching BOKSA. Not quite sure of himself. The road is definitely not that big. I don't know what else he's looking for. But again, he'll have to go back to the start. Yeah, this road is not big. Goes away from it.
Yeah, that must tell him that that's not the right road.
But now, does he have enough time to move his pin close enough? He does.
Yep.
19 meters, just inside that 25-meter mark, so good enough for an ace. So yeah, Calamity after 2 rounds. Perfect game so far, but haven't really been challenged a whole lot either.
Yeah, Blinky's just a bit faster than BOKSA in both of the rounds we've seen so far, but you've got 3 minutes, so as long as you find where you are in 3 minutes, being a bit faster doesn't really matter.
Indeed. Well, let's get ourselves all set up for round number 3 here as we get into this. And oh boy, we've gotten even more remote. So this is a round that could separate them and could definitely mean that they don't get a perfect game, even if they do get close.
Yeah.
Because this is what you're talking about. Lots of turns before you have a clue where you might actually be. No signs, no buildings, no nothing.
Very small roads surrounded by just trees everywhere. It does have the typical like small island look of like one of those roads that just goes through the middle of some tiny island south of Japan somewhere.
Yep. And in this kind of place, those orange mirrors, they do usually, if you're really, really remote, they usually have the prefecture name on them because it's the prefectural government who's responsible for maintaining these roads outside of municipalities. So neither of them bothering to slow down and look at them, looking for better clues, but the prefecture might be right underneath their noses.
Mm-hmm. It looks like neither of them finding much. I think Blinky's a few steps ahead of BOKSA.
Yeah, but
seems
not
like
by much.
His internet's going a bit quicker.
And his clicking's a little bit nicer, and BOKSA's having a little bit trouble handling some of the curves, but yeah, this is the fun part of GeoGuessr. As you can see, BOKSA's frustration there a bit with the shake of the mouse. Just clicking for 3 minutes, hoping you see anything. And the one he stops at doesn't actually have the prefecture on it. That one does. I saw the white sticker, wasn't able to read it.
Yeah.
But the other ones just say caution.
What islands do what prefectures do islands usually belong to? Is it just always the one they're closest to?
That would be nice. No, I mean, it depends on where they are. Like, if they're the only island chain, then probably they belong to the closest. But you get into the area like between Honshu and Shikoku and Kyushu, there's so many islands, and to figure out which one belongs to which is really confusing sometimes. Like, there could be an island that's like right off the coast of Hiroshima, but belongs to, what's the one across the bay? I forget the name of it. But across in like Ehime or something like that, and you're like, why do you belong to that prefecture when you're so far away? But who knows? Yeah, and the southern part of Kyushu can also get a little crazy.
Yeah, they're both come to terms with their fate of not finding anything and just kind of go, whatever, just somewhere around here maybe.
Place in the mountains, yeah. And Blinky better put a pin down. It's only got a few seconds left. Ooh, he realizes that, just throws something down. And it will be hugely advantageous for BOKSA, who just threw himself down in Kanto. 3,254 points for him. We were on those little islands out there. 1,277 for Blinky's Kansai guess. Unfortunately, not going to help him at all. So a big drop in points, which means this might be the difference maker, given that a normal round, both of them are 5K in it. This was definitely the decider, probably, Calamity.
Yeah, and we were actually on Oshima Island, which apparently, as I just looked up, is part of Tokyo Prefecture.
Tokyo. Yeah,
so that would have even been a kanji that might be not too difficult to recognize if you looked through some of them as practice. But yeah, neither of them did. So in the end, it comes down a bit to luck, basically. BOKSA just thought, okay, I'm putting myself in the center of Japan. Therefore, no matter where the islands are, I'm probably not too far away. Blinky put himself kind of over where there are more islands, but in the end, ended up losing out there by quite a bit. How much is that? 2,000 points, not quite. And that will probably be very, very difficult to make up in the remaining 2 rounds.
Yeah, just a bit unlucky there for him, really. The islands could have very well have been down there, and he would have gotten the win, but BOKSA a bit lucky. Yeah, those islands are notorious. There are several like movies have been made about them in Japan, where the people on the islands are Tokyo residents, and there's kind of a joke of like, "Oh, you live in Tokyo," and they're like, "Yeah," and they're way out in the middle of nowhere, right? So, can't forget about those. They do exist for that one. Okay, well, let's jump into round number 4 and see what it has in store for our 2 competitors here. We can see by the huge gap in between rounds, it really befuddled Blinky. Wasn't quite sure what to think about that round as he reviewed it several times. And, oh boy, another country side location to start us out on.
Yep. More countryside Japan.
Yeah, but a main road not too far away.
Yeah, that always helps. Sometimes when you're in the countryside, it can take you a really long time to get to a major road. Then you'll just find prefectural road upon prefectural road and not get any useful information. As Blinky did there find an area code of 28, I think it was. As
Yeah,
BOKSA just did the same.
Yeah, the 20s are around the sort of Kanto region. So won't be too bad. At least he put on a pin down. This one gonna have a lot more information than the last one for sure. There we go.
Route 4 and near Utsunomiya.
Utsunomiya and 125 as well. I think Blinky's already got both of those on his screen there.
Yep.
Now needs a good intersection to figure out where he might be at the moment. BOKSA's internet seems to have really slowed down since he started the game.
Yeah, it's not been the fastest.
No, the first couple rounds didn't look too bad, but now it definitely slowed down, which is causing him a bit of grief. He's only got 3 minutes, and every misclick is going to cost him a couple seconds to correct, given the speed of the internet.
But that should also be everything he needs there.
Yeah, the 293 and the 181 with some distances to some cities. No, not down that far.
Nope.
If he does guess down, there's under a minute left. Blinky might have a comeback on his hands here. Area codes pretty easy in Japan. Start at the north, go to the south. A lot better than the road numbers, that's for sure.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I think generally, like, finding out your exact area, road numbers are much more useful than area codes. Area codes just give you a bit more of a general region quicker, maybe.
It always depends on what number you see. Like, if you see a national road that's like a single or double digit, that's probably better to look for. But if you're seeing a bunch of triple digit prefectural road numbers and that's it, the area code could give you the prefecture to look in, and then that saves you a lot of time.
I actually think triple digit national roads are much easier to find than double digit national roads.
Then double digit? Yeah. Again, it depends. The problem with some of the single and double digits is they overlap with other named roads. So you might not see the number on a high zoom level because it has a different label. As we mentioned that, BOKSA does get close. Blinky getting an ace there, only 1 meter away. BOKSA a couple roads up, but a bit of a lead there for Blinky in the round, but not nearly enough to start that comeback quite yet, Calamity.
Yeah, 13 points more or less is not going to make the difference now. And we've only got one more round. And yeah, BOKSA would have to really not find anything at all in that one for Blinky to still have a chance to come back.
Indeed. Well, let's get into that final round and see what happens. And, well, Blinky couldn't have asked for maybe a better starting location.
It's not bad of a start.
Other than the round 3, yeah. Not a whole lot. Plenty of roads, but, oh, there's one of those blue signs, but not a whole lot on there for him.
Did you just completely ignore that sign?
I don't think it had any Latin writing on it. I think it was completely in kanji.
Okay, it didn't.
Yes. See, now BOKSA takes a look at it.
Okay, yeah.
My brain did register no Latin writing, so that's why Blinky just blazed by it. Here we go. There's some letters he might be familiar with. But again, very small. I doubt he'll be able to do much with that.
Yeah.
Still no road numbers. After a whole minute gone for both of them.
Yeah, that's countryside Japan for you.
Yep. And in this case, though, I think it definitely favors Blinky because at least his internet's working relatively smoothly. He's able to really cover a lot of ground. BOKSA is having a bit of trouble moving. But it only takes one clue, Calamity. One clue is all it takes.
Yeah, it can definitely be enough. The question is just, are they moving the same direction or not? Because if they are, then Blinky's going to get to that one clue faster. But he's gone back to the start now.
Yeah, they both sort of have BOKSA not too far away, trying to make the most of what he does see. Here we go. Minami Yamagata. Well, that might be a clue if Yamagata is the actual Yamagata.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I know Yamagata is Minami Yamagata. Ooh, there's a road's number. If BOKSA can manage to stop on it. He went right past it. Where'd it go?
It just disappeared. Different type of coverage. Sign hadn't been put up yet.
I guess it just completely vanished. There was it in the distance. Iwate. Well, if we were in Iwate, that's another thing. But Iwate also not an uncommon name, unfortunately. Finally, road numbers. The 281.
Yep, nice.
Iwazumi 158. It is Iwate. Holy cow. There we go. With 30 seconds left, Blinky finds it.
Yeah, that's
he's got at least the right
well.
prefecture. Yeah.
You saw that on one of the
BOKSA's not
signs.
too far off, though. He is in Yamagata, which is pretty close to Iwate.
Yeah.
I don't know if do they actually share a border? I don't think they do.
They don't, no.
They're kind of kitty-cornered to each other.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Kitakami, is that one of the cities you saw on the sign? Oh, that's Kuzumaki. He definitely saw that. But maybe he's already...
But he didn't put his pin down, unfortunately. Nope. For him there. Blinky living up to his reputation, clicking very fast, so much that I even missed what he'd got in the round. 4,995 points for him, 3,974 for BOKSA, so a bit of a lead there, 1,000 points, but not enough to come back from that 2,000 point deficit for him there, Calamity.
Yeah, in the end, it was all decided by that one round, round 3, where neither of them managed to find the island. And BOKSA just ended up being a bit closer with his pin, being a bit less gambly, so to speak, and just putting it in the center of the country. Yeah, at the end there, it almost could have turned things around, but BOKSA just about being close enough. I wonder if he was, like, what in particular made him go in sort of the Akita, Iwate, Yamagata area. Because as far as I know, I haven't really seen anything significant that would have pointed you towards that region on his screen. Maybe just kind of the general landscape.
Yeah, maybe. And also, he just might have taken a gamble on that Minami Yamagata. Maybe he's like, hey, I know Yamagata. It might not be it, but it's all I've got to work with. Throw myself up in the north with that. But yeah, he even was really close to the right location with like a few seconds left, but unfortunately his pin did not move. So he actually knew more of the location than his points actually show on the scoreboard there. But 22,215 for him, 21,272 for Blinky. So a very good performance despite a difficult round, but not quite enough for Blinky to upset the semifinalist and runner-up from last season. Well, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this Division 1 matchup. We hope to bring you many more of these. If you are a competitor in Reddit League, please consider recording your videos. It's free to do. Lots of free software out there. You don't need to pay a cent. You don't even have to record audio or commentary. Just send us your footage, have it run in the background, and we'll be happy to cast that as many as we can. And we'll see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.